One thing I love about this particular section is that of course we all have big hearts. Of course we want to step in and do something. And if I say, "Would you if this?" Of course I would. And then the situation happens and your heart races and your brain goes blank and you forget everything, right? So, and why is that? We normalize that very human experience of what it is to have an uncomfortable conversation. And then, so I'm going to piggyback on again, one of Bob's loves is those sentence starters, right? Having something, okay, I like how you said that to get into that conversation. That's usually the biggest struggle I find most people have is I don't know how to begin this conversation. I'm worried they're going to be reactive. I don't know what to do over here. So this workshop answers a lot of these questions and also gives the time and to experience it, to share ideas. What would you do if this happened? Have you had a situation where this has happened? How did you play that out? People want to hear the actual how, not just that it's a good idea to do it. And so I agree that this training really gets into really tangible tools that can help one feel more confident. A lot of people don't like conflict, even when it's our role to manage it. There are some people who actually will very much shy away, and there's still alternatives for them to do. The worst thing to do is nothing. And of course, we get into that about how to save that off and some alternatives of what one can do right at the level of their comfort. And so it really is a custom workshop for every human, which I love. And then it can get even more custom to bring in specifics about your organization and specifics about the challenges you face within your organization.
I think that fear that Tony mentioned and that we talk about in this training is real. And people don't speak up because they're afraid for themselves, their relationships, and their jobs. Like this makes perfect sense to me. Also, this isn't a discussion that exists in a vacuum. We spoke previously in the training about values and the individual values we bring as reasons why we might speak up and having people get the opportunity to think about where their fears are and how they stand in contradiction to their values. And then I think giving them the opportunity to think about those things at the same time or proximate to one another allows them to really say, hey, like, which person do I want to be? The person whose behaviors reflect our values, or the person whose behaviors get blocked by our anxieties, and so our values, don't get to be seen. And sometimes we're both. Like there are sometimes my behaviors don't reflect my values because of my anxiety. It's just that I think my job as I exist and go through this world, and our job when we're helping other people is can we minimize the percentage of time where that's the case and build the percentage of time where actually our behaviors do match our values.